Hello and welcome to Berufsoptimierer, the podcast that helps you optimize your career and achieve your professional goals. Germany offers many opportunities for foreigners who have skills and qualifications that are in demand, especially in fields such as engineering, IT, healthcare, and education. If you are a foreigner and you want to relocate to Germany, or if you are already working in Germany and want to improve your experience with this beautiful country, this episode is for you. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode in English, and I'm so happy that the responses from you as the community was so positive about the first episode, which is why I'm so motivated today to record this second episode. But if you're listening for the first time, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Bastian Hughes, and until 2016, I worked in recruitment, working for international companies in the automotive industry. In 2017, I ventured into my own career coaching and training business, where I've had the privilege to work with more than 1,000 people, assisting them in finding new jobs and navigating career changes. When I'm not working, you will find me exploring the beautiful Bavarian region of the Allgäu through hiking, mountain biking, and running. My mission for today's episode is that I want you to have a better understanding of the German working system and culture, and how to avoid some of the pitfalls and challenges that foreigners face. I will be sharing with you some of the most important information, tips, and insights on how to work in Germany as a foreigner based on my own professional experience as a recruiter and a trainer for international students. This episode will cover the following topics. First, work visa and residence permit. Second, we will be talking about tax, insurance, and social security and why this is important in terms of your salary. Third, culture and my top 6 common mistakes foreigners make when working in Germany. And 4, 3 of my most favorite misconceptions about Germany. So, let's talk about work, visa, and residence permit. And my advice for today's episode is we will be talking about lots of facts and percentages and just very important information. And if this kind of is a bit difficult to digest because it's just so much information, feel free to pause once in a while, rewind, just listen to it once again, or use the links that I've added to this episode to get a better understanding. So, work visa and residence permit. The first thing that you need to know is whether you need a work visa or a residence permit to work in Germany. This depends on your nationality and the type of work that you want to do. If you are from the European Union, the European Economic Area, or Switzerland, you do not need a work visa or a residence permit to work in Germany. You only need a valid passport or ID card, and you can enter, live, and work in Germany without any restrictions. If you are from Australia, Israel, Japan, Canada, South Korea, New Zealand, or the United States, you do not need a work visa or a job offer before entering Germany. However, upon arrival in Germany, you have to apply for a residence permit at the foreigner's office, called Ausländerbehörde, within 3 months of entry. The type of residence permit that you can apply for depends on your qualifications and the type of work that you want to do. If you are from any other country than the ones I've just named, you need a work visa before entering Germany. You also need a job offer from a German employer or a contract with a German company. You have to apply for the work visa at the German embassy or consulate in your home country. The type of work visa that you can apply for depends on your qualifications and the type of work that you want to do. There are many different types of resident permits and work visas for foreigners who want to work in Germany, and some of the most common ones are the so-called EU Blue Card. This is a residence permit that allows highly qualified foreigners who have a university degree or equivalent qualification and a minimum annual salary of 56,800 euros or 44,304 euros for shortage occupations such as engineers, IT specialists, doctors, or nurses, to live and work in Germany for up to 4 years. The EU Blue Card also gives you the right to travel within the EU and apply for permanent residency after 33 months or 21 months if you have sufficient German language skills. Then there's the Skilled Immigration Act. This is a new law that came into effect in March 2020. That aims to attract skilled workers from non-EU countries who have vocational training or professional experience in occupations that are in demand in Germany. The Skilled Immigration Act also allows foreigners who have vocational training or professional experience but no job offer to come to Germany for up to 6 months to look for work, provided they have sufficient financial means and German language skills. Then we have the job seeker visa. This is a visa that allows foreigners who have a university degree or equivalent qualification and sufficient financial means to come to Germany for up to 6 months to look for work. However, this visa does not allow you to work in Germany during this period. So you have to apply for a residence permit or work visa once you find a job. And then if you are not looking for an employment, if you are trying to relocate to Germany and you want to plan your freelance career, there's also a specific visa called the freelance visa. It's a visa that allows foreigners who want to work as freelancers or self-employed professionals in Germany to apply for a residence permit. But you have to prove that you have the necessary qualifications, experience, and funds to carry out your freelance activity and that there's a demand for your services in Germany. You also have to show that you have secured contracts or clients in Germany or abroad. So these are just some of the most common types of resident permits and work visas for foreigners who want to work in Germany. There are also other types of permits and visas for specific purposes, such as research, study, internship, au pair, or seasonal work. So for more information on the requirements and the procedures for each type of permit or visa, you can find some helpful links in the show notes, the description of this episode. Okay, now let's talk about tax insurance and social security and why this is important in terms of salary. The second thing you need to know is how the tax, insurance, and social security system in Germany works. This is important because it affects your net income and your benefits as a worker. In Germany, there are 3 types of taxes that you have to pay as a worker. First is the income tax. Income tax is a progressive tax that ranges from 0% to 45% depending on your annual income and your personal circumstances, such as marital status, number of children, etc. Then we have the church tax. It's a tax you have to pay if you belong to a religious community. The tax is 8% or 9% of your income tax, depending on the state where you live. And then there's the solidarity surcharge. It's an additional tax of 5.5% on your income tax that goes to finance the costs of German reunification and other public projects. However, almost 90% of the population in Germany do not have to pay the solidarity surcharge. But as I don't know you in person, you could be one of the 10%. So this is why I wanted to cover this specific tax in this episode. In addition to taxes, you also have to pay contributions to the social security system in Germany. The social security system consists of 4 branches: health insurance, pension insurance, unemployment insurance, and long-term care insurance. As a worker, you have to pay half of the contributions for health insurance, pension insurance, unemployment insurance, and long-term care insurance, while your employer pays the other half. The contribution rates vary depending on the branch and your income level, but they are usually around 15 to 20% of your gross salary in total. The social security system provides you with various benefits as a worker in Germany. For example, The health insurance covers most of your medical expenses, such as doctor visits, hospital stays, prescriptions, dental care, etc. You can choose between public health insurance, it's the gesetzliche Krankenversicherung, or the private health insurance, which is the private Krankenversicherung. But to get the private Krankenversicherung, it depends on your income level and preferences. Pension insurance provides you with a monthly pension when you retire based on your contributions and your working years. The statutory retirement age in Germany is currently 65 years and 9 months for people born before 1964 and gradually increases to 67 years for people born after 1963. You can also opt for early retirement with reduced benefits or defer retirement with increased benefits depending on your situation. And then we have the unemployment insurance that gives you financial support if you lose your job involuntarily or if you're looking for a new job. You can receive unemployment benefits, so-called Arbeitslosengeld, for up to 12 months or up to 24 months if you're over 50 years old, and if you have paid contributions for at least 12 months in the last 2 years. The amount of unemployment benefits is usually 60% of your previous net income or 67% if you have children. But there's one important thing about unemployment insurance that nobody tells you. And that's important to know. If you terminate your contract on your own decision, you are blocked for 3 months from the unemployment insurance. So you won't get any money for the first 3 months while you are unemployed. You will only get this unemployment insurance or the money for the from this insurance if your employer terminates your contract. So that's important to know that, you cannot just cancel your own contract and then get the unemployment insurance. The employer has to terminate your contract first. Okay, and then we have the long-term care insurance that helps you cover the cost of long-term care if you become dependent on assistance due to old age or illness. It pays for part of the expenses for home care, nursing home care, or other forms of care depending on your level of dependency. Okay, so this was a lot of information and facts to digest, and I can understand if you need a little break, as I said at the beginning. To get a better understanding of these taxes and insurances and how it affects your salary, you can use so-called gross net calculators to estimate how much income tax and solidarity surcharge and all the other things you have to pay based on your gross salary. I have added a link to one of these websites in the description of this episode. Okay, now we will be talking about the top 6 common mistakes foreigners make when working in Germany. So the third thing that you need to know is how the culture and the working environment are in Germany and what are some of the common mistakes that foreigners make when they are working in Germany. This is important because it affects your communication, collaboration, and integration with your colleagues and your employer. When I worked at a manufacturer as a recruiter, there was a chief engineer who was feared because of his emotional outbursts during meetings with his team. He would shout at his subordinates, make people cry, and one of his most common sentences was, "If you don't get this done by Friday, you're fired." This manager had to learn 2 things. First, you cannot just fire someone if she or he is not performing in a way that you would expect of them without having a proper conversation with the employee, HR, and works council. And second, you cannot shout at someone or tell them she or he is useless. HR tried to tell him, managers tried to tell him, and in the end, he was the one who got fired. So please do not make this mistake and also the following 4 mistakes. First, being late for meetings, appointments, or deadlines. Punctuality is vital in Germany and it shows respect and professionalism. Second, break into tears, or making your frustration public. Germans prefer to keep their emotions under control and deal with problems in a rational and more calm manner. So shouting at people, that's not the best way to do this. And 3, and this is something I find very important because in some cultures, there are several differences in terms of working with each other and respecting each other when it comes to gender. So showing open disrespect to other cultures or engaging in stereotypes. Germans are sensitive to cultural diversity and expect their colleagues to be respectful and tolerant. And number 4, and this is something that I've experienced a lot when I worked with people from different countries, because, you know, when it comes to change in Germany, it can be very slowly. So number 4 is jump the gun if you think you have a brilliant idea. You will not succeed in convincing your colleagues and superiors unless you have thoroughly analyzed the pros and cons and have already a rough idea about how to implement it. Okay? So, and this is what I said at the beginning. We Germans are uneasy with uncertainty, change, and ambiguity. Because, when things change, it's not always positive for most of the people. And you will realize that in Germany, we tend to think things through in a very, very deep way. So presenting your idea with no factual background info, I'm sorry, will most likely kill it. So these are some of the aspects of the working culture in Germany that you need to be aware of and adapt if you want to work in Germany as a foreigner. However, not every workplace, of course, or every person in Germany is exactly the same. So you should also be flexible and open-minded to learn from your own experience and observation. Okay, now we'll be talking about 3 of my favorite misconceptions about Germany. And these are misconceptions that even we Germans like to make jokes about. First, misconception number 1 is that you can pay by credit card everywhere. You can't. This is not true, as many places in Germany still prefer cash or debit card payments, especially for small amounts. And another important fact, if you live in a village and you want to pay at the bakery, at the local bakery or something, it can happen that you can only pay cash. So you should always carry some cash with you. And if possible, check the payment options before you buy something. Even in restaurants, I've experienced a lot that you cannot pay by card or a foreign card. You only can pay cash. So it's important to know about this. Second, and the German-speaking people who are listening to this, I guess this is the moment where everybody starts kind of laughing, is that misconception number 2 is that you can expect public transportation to always be on time. Also not true, as there can be delays or disruptions due to various reasons, such as weather, traffic, strikes, or technical issues. So on one hand, you should always check the schedule and the status of your transportation before travel and plan some extra time in case of delays. And number 3 is, people think that you can go shopping on a Sunday. In Germany, this is not true, as most shops and stores are closed on Sundays in Germany, except for some exceptions such as gas stations, train stations, airports, or tourist areas. So you should do your shopping on weekdays or Saturdays and avoid Sundays unless you need something urgent. Okay, so almost at the end of this episode, we have covered 4 important topics when it comes to working in Germany. Remember that each individual's situation is unique, and it's essential to research and seek advice from official sources such as the German embassy or consulate in your country to ensure accurate and up-to-date information. I have also included some helpful links to the description of this episode, so feel free to check them out. If you want to learn about what recruiters expect when it comes to application documents, check out my last English episode. It was episode number 276. You will also find a direct link in the description of this episode. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance in your job search journey, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can send me your message to hallo, HALLO, at berufsoptimierer.de or connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Bastian Hughes. I'm here to support and assist you in making your dream of working in Germany a reality. And additionally, if there's something you would like me to talk about in one of the next episodes, feel free to also drop me an email. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Stay tuned for more English-speaking episodes coming your way. Bis bald. See you soon. Yours, Bastian.